Hi, folks. Well, yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, and I don't know how the conversation ended up, but I ended up flashing on a memory of an incredibly stupid thing that I did years and years ago when I was about 17 years old. So, I figured I may as well relate this story to you. It's crazy. Anyways, I guess it starts with a friend of mine named Derek, who tells me one day, he says, Matt, he says, if ever you're stuck on the side of the road by yourself in your car, and you're stuck in some ditch or something like that, and you really could use the help of some other guy, what you should do is just put your car in gear, and then you'll act like a second person helping you along, and then when you get it to go out, you can just jump back in and get it out of gear, and you're fine. So that's how it starts. Now, at some later point, this is a month or two later, some evening, and I discovered that the movie Popeye is playing on TV. And I want to see Popeye. I don't know why. I don't think I can explain that. I love the music in it. I guess that's the only claim I can say. It's not complicated music, I'll be the first to admit. And Popeye was just great in there. A bit overlong in some places, but I love the movie, and whatever, I was addicted to it, and I had already seen it, shame to admit, 13 times. So, and the reason I was going to see it at my friend's, because that's what was going on, I had called my friend and begged him if I could go over to his place to see Popeye. And the reason I was doing that is because it was playing on cable, and I didn't have cable. Only later on, I realized it wasn't even playing on cable. I could have stayed home and watched it at home. And what's to make it worse, the movie, how they cut a movie to allow time for commercials. Well, in this case, they butchered the movie. They were using a chopping block. What junk? I'm taking this out. Junk, Anyway, so it was so chopped up that it finished 20 minutes early. That's just ridiculous. Anyways, this is just telling you that I was visiting a friend to watch a movie, and that night happened to be, it's about a week before Christmas, whenever the year was, and it was the worst night of the year. There was rain, there was sleet, there was hail, and there was snow. But mostly it was driving sleet. It was just horrendous. I don't know what made me go out on that night to watch a movie I'd seen 13 times. Anyway, so the place where my friend lived, if you can picture this, it was a big apartment building. He lived on the 8th floor or something. And where you had visitor parking, there was a one-lane driveway or road going to the back of the building where most of the parking was. But for the visitors, you would just drive along this one lane, and you had this one lane, and on this side, you had a sidewalk, 5-6 feet wide, and then you had buildings, and the building itself. And on the first floor, they were stores. There was business. So you got to picture this. I've got this lane, and I'm walking down, and you just drive in like this, and you park. And so that's what I did. I just drove in and I parked like that and walked up and went up to see my friend to see the movie. So when I came down, it had been sleeting pretty darn good. And quite frankly, my car was covered with it. I was driving a Lark. I want to say Skylark. There we go, a Skylark. And it was a car that had absolutely no guts. It was in terrible shape. Anyways, it was covered with ice. There was about this much ice over everything. Anyways, so I managed to clear off my windshield, the back window, and I get in the car, and I put it in reverse, and I go, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. I can't get out. I am on flat ground. And I go look at the back tire. I can't see anything, any reason for me not to be moving, but it's ice everywhere. Ice, sheer ice. So I'm going, man, I need some help. And this is when, ding, I remember my friend Derek telling me, hey man, he says, if ever you're by yourself, get your car in gear. Okay, so it hits me, this is my only solution. There's just no way I could get out of this without doing this. Seems brilliant. Anyway, so I put it, mind you, he probably had a lot of things in his mind when he was saying this. Like he probably meant in a car that works well. And mine did not. So because it didn't, I had to put it on high idle because otherwise it would just die. So when you put it in gear, which is what I did, when I put it in gear, the back wheel is just like that. It is turning. It's going to be the help of 2 or 3 men. Anyway, not just one. So and he probably meant that I should be standing by the door of the car, of the driver's side, and push the car from there and jump in. But I didn't think of that. And he didn't mention that to me, the idiot. Why didn't he tell me that in the first place? Anyways, so I go to the front of the car. I leave my door open, though, as clever fellow, so that I can get back in easy. But I don't know if you know the Skylark, but this was not a 4-door. It was a 2-door car. And those doors, man, they're like this wide. I mean, just huge doors, right? So when you have this open, you have to run around the door like that. It's just crazy. Anyway, so I get down to the front of the car. And I get like this, and, I put my shoulder to the grill. And I just go, and my shoulder just touches the grill. I mean, I haven't really started. I'm not ready. I'm just like this, and it just touches the grill, and the car goes boom, boom, and it takes off. It just boom, boom, and it's just gone. It's just gone. Now, where is it going? It is going across the 1-lane road, the sidewalk, and buildings, right? So I've got seconds to stop this from happening. So everything after that goes into slow motion. I am, I see myself, the car is moving along like this. In a flash, I'm running. It's slow-mo for me, $6 million man thing, I'm running next to the car like this. Next to the car, I'm right next to it. And I'm looking in. Way down the road over there somewhere, there's some guy who screams, "Stop that car!" And in the back of my mind, I'm going, "What do you think I'm trying to do?" Anyway, so I managed somehow to grab the handle of that car. I mean, we're talking about a very limited amount of space. And that car he's boogieing. Excuse me. So because that's just going that one road, the sidewalk, you've got maybe 25 feet, 30 feet tops, So here I am. I managed to grab a hold of the handle. I open the door. And I jump into the car. I managed to do, that you have to run, twist around, and start running backwards all smoothly, right, without planning it, and then just jump in with your foot extended out to the pedal, Nuts. Okay, so I jump in. The problem was, it didn't run well. And because of that, I had developed a 2-foot driving system. 1 foot for the gas, 1 foot for the brake. And the foot that goes in, man, it's the gas foot, right? So I'm not quite sure if I hit the gas and goose the car or if I hit the brakes. It didn't matter because that's when I hit the building. That's right. I hit the building. And what did I hit? I hit the middle beam of 2 giant bay windows. And it just pushed the entire frame in, broke the giant windows. It fell on my car. My car went halfway into the building and fell in like that, just like that. At which point, at the time I was smoking cigarettes, a heinous habit. Anyways, but I went out and rolled myself a little rolly cigarette, a drum cigarette, that's what they were called, and just sat there, sitting on my chair, the door open to the car halfway in the building, and I smoked a cigarette to relax. Okay, walk back up to my friend, tell him about it, call the cops, call the insurance. So the cops come. And I'm struck at some point. I'm sitting in the cop car and explaining what happened, and I'm struck by the idiocy of what I have been doing, and also the humor of it. And I just can't help myself, because the one thing I haven't said here is that the building that I crashed into, the business, was a gynecologist's office. So I'm sitting there and I just went, all right, I admit it. I broke in to steal the files. And the guy starts laughing, And then he says to me, son, because I was about 18 years old then, So he says, son, I wouldn't tell too many of your friends about this. Then I thought about another funny line, and I said, you know, I don't know, officer. I can't say who was driving. I couldn't see anyone in the car. Anyway. So they pulled my car out of there, and the ice had protected all of my car. There wasn't a scratch on the bumper. There was nothing, no damage at all. The building, like I said, was these two bay windows and had been pushed in like that. The repair cost, I learned later, was about $1,200 to fix that. So I went home. It was still a really bad night, right? The rain and sleet had sort of stopped. It sort of cleared up. But the roads were really bad. Dry, black ice. And anyway, it was just terrible driving. So I get home to discover, I'm pretty freaked out by now, dead beat, and I just want to go to bed. That's all I want to do. And forget about this forever. But I arrive home, and my driveway has been snowplowed. And snowplowed with what? Well, with big chunks of ice and sleet all stuck together, and there's a pile. I'm not kidding you. It's got to be this high. I mean, a good 2.5 feet high. Anyway, and it's just a huge pile, boom, like this. But just to add to the situation, somebody had parked right in front after they had snowplowed. Somebody had parked. I don't know who it was, but they shouldn't have, because the snowplow came back, and by then there was a whole pile more ice, and it came back and it went around the car. So now you can imagine there's a big pile of snow here, and then there's another one coming in front of it to go around the car. So I had to shovel the snow, this rock hard ice and pieces and chunks, and all that just to get home and get in bed. Anyway, so that's my ridiculous story about my Popeye adventure of going to see ridiculous movies that I'd seen before. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my stupid story. I'll talk to you guys later.